I'm standing in one of Victoria's oldest landmarks, Market Square. Like a lot of Victoria, it's full of elegant brick, it's calm and it's quiet. But it wasn't always like this. Hundreds of years ago, this place was full of sailors, pioneers, and miners rummaging through the saloons, brothels, and gambling dens that line Johnson Street. I'm here with historian John Adams to find out more. I'm here with John Adams. Thank you for joining us again. Local historian, local storyteller. So today I wanted to talk about something I think is a little lesser known in Victoria, and that's the infamous red light district that used to be on Johnson on the corner of Market Square. I don't think a lot of people know a lot about it. It seems like a place that kind of contradicts a lot of what Victoria is and represents, quaint, calm. But there was a time
Tea
period.
and crumpets, yes. Victoria was a lot different back in the 1800s and early 1900s.
So can you give the viewer a bit of a sense of what it was like?
Well, first of all, this was a boom town. Gold rushes and lots of people coming and going. This was the big city up until Vancouver became the big city in 1898. And it was mostly men. There were women, of course, as well, but men came and went. They got into trouble. And they drank a lot, they gambled a lot, and of course, they looked for women. And Johnson Street was the sort of street that every city had, every boomtown, every mining community. There was a red light district, and we had several. Johnson Street was probably the best known. There were lots of sealers and whalers. There were lots of sailors with the Royal Navy at Dockyard. There were certainly loggers and miners that came down for a spree in the winter, as they might do today when the woods are frozen up. And so they come down to a place like Victoria. And there were tourists. People came through because this was a conduit to the Asian market in those days. People came across Canada by train. They came to Victoria. Wow. They went across the Pacific Ocean by steamer. And Victoria was a place where a lot of people were coming and going.
So this really was a hub at the time.
It was.
It still is, but it very
by
much is a hub.
By the late 1800s, it was definitely a hub.
Wow.
A little earlier, it wasn't so much of a hub, but it was still a bustling place.
That's really neat. So we're going to walk over towards Johnson Street and through the staircase in the tunnel over there. So we're actually coming up the stairs now out onto Johnson Street from Market Square, where the shops and the hotels and the brothels would have faced this way, right?
They were both sides of the street. Some of the names are still there. Across the street, the Grand Central, the Colonial Metropole.
Really?
On this side, the Grand Pacific, the Empire. The Empire was right here. And the next one that has the big bay window, that was the Strand Hotel. And there were more heading up that way.
You were talking about the murder earlier. Where is that? Is that the Drake that you were talking about?
The Drake Hotel was a pretty disreputable place for a long time, and there had been murders there as well, but the most famous murder took place in the Empire Hotel. It was a very small hotel, but one of the sleaziest places, and that's probably what attracted Belle Adams and Charlie Kincaid from Seattle in 1898. And he was two-timing, and Belle didn't like that, and one thing led to another, and that night he was lunging at her. And she didn't like this. She looked down, she grabbed Charlie's straight razor, and she lashed out, and she got him across the neck. Ear to ear, the blood poured all over the room, splattering Belle. Well, Charlie rolled down the stairs and died, and Belle went running after him. She got 5 years for manslaughter for that.
Wow.
But she wasn't very old when she died either, and Charlie and Belle are definitely still there as ghosts, haunting that place, and there are lots of others as well.
So next time you're in Market Square getting a coffee or doing some shopping, come and retrace John and I's steps and see what it'd be like to live in the old red light district here on Johnson Street and in Market Square. For ShawTV, I'm Tyler Hooper.